Okay, guys, so we'll start with Wapro. Just give us some general tips and uh, general layout procurement on your end. Okay, so I'm going to change you to the presenter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have this project. We have like a two-story building that we had to refurbish like last semester, like our civil and school building. And for that, we had to come up with, we had the working drawings, and we had to just come up with like the duration of time for each activity. We had to come up with the activity list. So once we did that, and to calculate the duration of time, we made use of Spawn's book, Spawn's Architects and Builders Prize book. This is, I think, the 2009 version. So once you get into the once you get the Spawn's book, and there are different, like this I'm just taking this example for groundwork. So for groundwork, depending on your depth of excavation, there's manual excavation, and then you have like various other options. If you just go down and read, you have like various other options like with machines and stuff. So now if you just take the example of the manual excavating by hand, for like a maximum depth not exceeding 1 meter, you have like 2.68 labor hours. So that's how many labor hours you need to excavate 1 meter cube of the earth. So you have to decide, you have to calculate the quantity of work that of the earthwork that needs to be excavated and stuff. And you can decide how many labor hours, how many labor you want to put in, like how long you want to make the laborers work, and and yeah, basically you just do that, and you come up with your duration in days for each activity. So that is that. And yeah, we made use of the Spawn's book, and we've come up, I think I posted a link of this. And yeah, we used Spawn's book, and we came up with the duration for our activities list. So yeah, that's basically what the Spawn's book is for. And you have like different Spawn's books. This one is for the architects and this one is the Spawn's book for architects and builders prize book. Then you have different Spawn's books like for like highway works and for just construction works and civil and building works and stuff. So we made use of this book. This book gives you basically like most of what you need. So yep, that's about it.
Where'd you get it?
Spawn's book. Yeah, I posted it on. I posted a link of this. I sent you a copy of this on Facebook.
No, I mean, were you given it by your professor or something?
Oh yeah, we were given the book by a professor. And we went, and you can refer. There are like various Spawn's books. We refer the 2009 version of it, but I think there's a 2012 version as well.
Okay.
So yeah, you can just go to whichever book you want, and it basically has tables like these for earthwork, for electrical works, and for like temporary structures as well. They have like how many man hours you need to put in and stuff. So you just gotta go through the book and come up with your duration.
Okay, so I skimmed through the book, but we have a medieval ruin right now, and we have to excavate around it. What is your tips and general guidelines of how to create a medieval ruin?
Could you speak up? I can't hear you that well.
It's feedback on your mic. If you could just mute it if you're talking, it would help.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah? Okay, so right now our medieval ruin is going to be inside our extension way. So right now we had to excavate around that medieval ruin, but to preserve it, to have its structural integrity in place, how do you guys, what do you guys recommend? What is the general tips for that?
You could build like sheet piling around. Could you like drive sheet piles around the medieval ruin and then excavate around that area? That could be an option to like preserve the structural thing of the area of the medieval ruin.
Wouldn't use a hammer driver. Don't use it. Mechanical power down.
Just drive like sheet piles around the medieval ruin and then start the excavation and work around it. So the soil around the medieval ruin is stable. That does not like shake. It's structurally stable. So that you could do.
That's fine.
Okay, so I think we could go with the Coventry guys now. Are you guys okay with it?
Yep. Which start? I've had a look at that list you uploaded, Quincy. I've put in rates that I'm familiar with. How do I change this?
Ethan, could you share the screen for Michael?
Yeah. I'm just getting that file. There it is. Yes, that's the file you uploaded. I've put in rates that I know. I guess if we could get hold of something of the Spons book with the appropriate stuff in it, that might help. I've sent it to Steve to see if there's anything he can fill in, but a lot of the stuff is. I mean, I don't, for instance, know what a Tong tester is, but I guess those things probably you wouldn't. That sort of stuff you wouldn't be hiring yourself. That would probably come with your, with subcontractor. For instance, concrete placing and concrete mixing. Likely you would probably order it and it would be pre-mixed. Any comments as to that? Probably wouldn't be doing it yourself for this kind of scale. Any remarks? Quincy?
For these kind of pricing, so you guys have like a textbook or a general thing on the UK standards? Because in Canada we have the RSEs. I'm not sure in the UK you might have some more concrete information for that, especially with the crane towers and the hoists and winches like that.
Not that I know. I mean, it's likely that there is a rates book, but it's something QSs would have, but we don't. You can get them, but they're quite expensive, and I'm not gonna buy one. But yeah, I think the QSs have hold of it, but we don't. Not on our course. So I send it to Steve to see if he can point us in the right direction for that list. That might come back. In fact, that was an email there, wasn't it? One sec. Is that email from Steve? No, it's Digest. Right, the other thing, scans. So I've uploaded the calculation calcs onto Dropbox.
Yeah. Basically, we've just figured out what the loading will be on the. Basically, we're just extrapolating that for the rest of them. But what we end up with is basically a minimum surface area based on that soil for about 1.1 meters squared as a pad foundation for each of the columns. So yeah, that would just be about a 1.1 by 1.1 meter pad foundation, which is yeah, it's quite small, and if it was any larger, it wouldn't be worth doing pads. It'd just be worth doing a raft. But it's small enough. We can make it a pad, and that will be more effective.
Could you guys tell me the depth for the whole slab for the building?
Yeah, how deep is the slab?
I've not actually got any data on how deep it needs to be.
Okay. Yeah, we can get back to you with that.
But we can get that
Depth.
But we've just not got any information on depth.
The other thing was I'm going to show you this. details. These are all details from previous project. These are fundamentally exactly the same as the ones we're using for this.
The only difference is some of the dimensions.
So yeah, the dimensions are so different, but
The column dimensions are the same for all of them.
does Quincy, does the top one on the right there, does that answer your question about how to
Yes.
join?
The only thing I'm missing from that drawing right there is the rebar size, because there's rebars going across from it as well. There should be a certain arrangement of how these rebars go. Is it not?
Through the slab.
Through the slab, that's correct. It is a structural slab.
As far as I know, I have checked with the structural professor. As far as I know, there is no interaction between the rebar and the bolts themselves. That's not done. As far as avoiding them, that's not designed as such yet.
Okay.
We don't know how the rebar is designed in the slab, so it's not something I can draw for you yet.
Because one crucial drawing that we need to do for the structural slab is the spacing, the stirrups, just the basic overall configuration, how these rebars work on the structural slab. That's the only thing that we're going to comment. But otherwise, these are fantastic sketches. We're going to put them to CAD, and then part C will be completed because you guys did a good job with that. All right.
Okay, that's all in the phase 2 folder.
Okay. Lotro, do you guys have any questions, comments?
So the structure, like the columns and beams are all steel work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for now.
The hollow core concrete slabs.
Yeah, if you look at the foundation calculations, it's actually got all of the all of the dimensions and the make of the floor slabs.
Okay.
So all the information's on that document.
All right. So based on these sketches, you guys, we will be touching up on that. We'll put it on AutoCAD.
Sure.
The previous assignments that we've done last term, which was 2013, we will be using your structural plans. We will make it just make it more pretty in design case.
Yeah.
But my question to Coventry is the calculations changed whatsoever on the transfer on the beams and stuff like that?
Not that we're aware of. We might need to change the positioning around a bit just because of the beams are approaching the columns at an angle on some of them.
I'll still get around.
But it should be fine. It's just if the we'll redo the calculations.
Yeah, they're not too extreme. I don't think that's too great an issue.
We just did most common last time, but if we can go a bit more in depth and see if it needs to be changed, but it shouldn't change. Really.
Okay. So for part C, the drawings, the structural and everything should be. We'll be touching up on it, and by Sunday, you guys will receive a Dropbox of these drawings. So just quickly, skim through it, see if there's any calculation for Coventry side. For Lotro guys, is the standards there? That's what we're trying to look for, because you guys have construction document experience and anything like that. So just if there's any problem, just give us a shout on Facebook. I think that should be all right. Is that okay with everyone for part C?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael, could you share the screen with me?
Yep.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So right now, what we did is we configured the the site map into one distinct zone. So right now is that we simply separate into two distinct zones. One zone is phase one, which is at the original building. The second zone is the one surrounding the building and the medieval ruin. So what we agreed on is that the north end and at the northwest end will be the entryways if, as a contingency plan, that it is not completed by the start of the normal terms for engineering students. So this red circle right now is to symbolize the overarching crane, that the reach for it. So the stationary crane will be right in the center where this core that we're going to construct. It is where the elevators, and it's going to be universally accessible for all the students on the old building and at the new extension building. What we have right now is that this whole parking lot on the side with the sports center, that will be closed off and will be more of the inventory side, just all the construction site, anything that's going on that should only be allowed and open to these construction people. We have applied 2 zones for loading and or loading or unloading of materials. The green dotted line right here and here is to have these act as drop-off points for them, and basically use that for the concrete trucks and everything. We were hoping that we will use Much Park Street as the waiting area because it's a very private street. Not a lot of cars are there. So when the concrete's being poured and everything for the structural slab, they'll be waiting around here, and then waiting on the north end, and actually dump off right here at this corner at the southwest side. That's what we generally agreed on. What else? Everything else is that the parking lot will be on the red part here, so students and staff could actually have to be redirected to that general area for parking, anything like that. Right now, that through all this, we put in a Word document for basically an overview of how things are done. So how we can complete Part A and Part B is through this kind of overview, how we separate it into maybe very simply 5 parts. So the first part is the confirmation, just basically the preparation before doing any demolition, anything like that. After that is the fencing, construction of the foundations. 4 is the structural part, the metal erection of these buildings. The 5th is the servicing of these interior spaces. The 6th is more of the CDM and more of the health and safety part, which is for Part A. We included in there just as a reference. So we skimmed through it, but we haven't put any referencing into it as of right now. So that is what our that's basically what we have done right now. There will be a more detailed report for Part B, and we put in the Dropbox the Gantt chart that everyone should see right now. We're going to be using the Word document. We will be referencing the CDM, Construction Document Management, and actually go into detail how to procure it, and safety and all that aspects. So right now I'm halfway through the document, and in my opinion, I think it's going to go through 11 pages. So it's going to be quite a lot of extensive. It's just going to be reiteration of health and safety and stuff like that. But for Part A, it's more on the health and safety, so we're not going to be touching up a lot on that part. My question is that for LawPro guys, how do you transition using, let's say, when we finish phase 1 and everything it could be up and running, everything like that, and the phase 2, which is the extension wing, how do we transition with the HVAC system? Do we have to put like a vapor barrier or something just to around the south end, just so that people, so the construction debris or any pollutants like that doesn't go into the existing building? Or how does it work like that?
Yeah, you could consider like covering off the area. Like when you're working on the new site, you can consider covering it off so the debris don't work. What we did for our project was we completed like the entire new building. We had to make like an extension to the old building. So what we did was we completed like the entire portion of the new building first, and then after that we like during the holidays and stuff, that's when we started working on the old building. So that's what we did. So we planned it in that way. Like when the school is off, that's when we worked on connecting, like bridging the gap between the two buildings.
Okay.
So
Yeah. The general the general layout that it's kind of like that. But since we don't have any financial restrictions or anything like that, we're hoping that phase 1 and 2 work in tandem. So it's just to speed up the whole process. That's how we did it. What else? Yeah, just a quick reference. We don't know how UK school term starts. When does it start and when does it finish?
Universities generally end of September, early October to early June.
In the past, all of our exams have been done by 20th of May.
Yeah.
And that's when it ends.
Okay.
So yeah, start of June.
So for LawPro, is it feasible to finish within those 5-month period, or it's quite
I think that is pretty good. I think 5 months is good enough.
Also, we have not demolition, but more of it's cutting into the concrete slab at the foyer that we have on the pre-existing building. That's going to become more of the front entrance area, and we're trying to make it to a double height building. What kind of machinery are we talking about to actually cut the rebars and actually, take out the concrete slab?
Yeah, for the we made use of pneumatic drills. You can't hear us? Can you hear me? Yeah. Hello.
A bit louder.
Yep, can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear us? Yeah. What we did for the drill for the concrete was we made use of pneumatic hand drills to like break the concrete, and you get rebar cutters in the market. So that's what we made use of. It's all there in the report. What I've posted, the Excel sheet. If you just read through that, you'll get to know. That's what we made use of.
In terms of health and safety, what do we need to be worried about? Well, aside from wearing the proper attires for construction workers, like do we need to have cross bracing at the voids or at that point?
Yeah, that you need to do.
Okay.
That's needed.
And that has to be permanent. That has to be part of the structure already, right? You cannot take it out once we cut open those slabs.
I didn't get you.
For the cross bracing, once we cut open the slabs and everything, and you use a cross bracing for it, can we take it out after, or is it more of a permanent structure for it?
No, you can take it out after.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I have another question. The slabs and all, are they precast or are they like in situ?
In the existing building.
In situ in the existing. Okay, and for the new portion?
Precast. Precast.
Precast, okay.
Bison hollow core sections.
Should be asked like how was the period of stock?
And do you plan on putting up a batching plant on site, or is it all ready mixed concrete?
That's 5%.
Noise. All the concrete we'd be using would be pre-mixed for the start. There's not enough room to do batching on site, and it would just be impractical.
Okay, so I'm just looking overall like what we have to do for our report. Part B is around 70% done. We just have to put in the proper dates and duration for it. That's for our Gantt chart. The report is also along the way. Part C, we do have the typical ground section plans and everything. I don't have anything. Do you guys have anything to add, Coventry? Because this part is very important, but we don't know anything about it whatsoever.
Anything to add on the fractal drawings? No, particularly.
We'll just go through and see if there's anything that's changed. We'll get you the foundation detail.
Okay.
With regards to reinforcement for the slab.
Do we need to resubmit the calculations?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'll do a bit more in depth. I'll do a couple of.
Well, just the same as the first stage, because that was in excess anyway, wasn't it?
But you
What I'll do
guys,
is I'll redo Mike's. I'll redo Mike's calculations for before how I did them for my one. So I'll just go a bit more in depth and do some different loadings.
Sorry, I had to take
Yes, do all the loadings for each of the individual floors because his one last time was a bit lacking, but I'll just redo that and then we'll be.
so Liam, on your end, could you guys draw the details in plan? I mean, not in plan, in CAD. So all the sketches you've done, and then just put in electronic CAD form, and then we'll look over it from there. Because you guys.
What for the sections?
Yeah, for the sections. That's correct.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem really.
Yeah. So put that all in CAD. We'll fix it, and then put it into a presentable form report. Would that be okay with you guys?
Yep, should be. Sticking all the foundation.
Are you guys able to finish it by Sunday so we could touch it up by the end of the week?
Pardon?
Coventry guys, for the AutoCAD files, are you able to finish it by Sunday?
I think so.
Yeah, we've got all the dimensions. We should be able to.
Okay.
For part A, do you guys have any recommendations how to split up the work? Because right now that we have a lot of stuff on our end, so I don't know how much we could do for part A. We already provided a detailed list of the machinery. We could also finish the costings if you for the duration and for the unit price for it. We could finish that off. For 2I and 2-3, I'm not sure how we're going to split this off. Do you have any suggestions, Coventry guys?
What are you going to say?
Well, I don't really know what it is. we're not particularly familiar with much of 2 or 3.
Yeah,
sure
same
you
with
are.
us. So one way or
Yeah.
another, we have to split it up.
Company health and safety policy. Outline the method statements.
Have we done any of this?
No, not really.
Not covered any.
Number 1 we can probably have done by Sunday, if we have access to the rates from Steve, then that number 1 will be done. But yeah, number 2, number 3, I'm not sure quite.
So we could actually do 1I and 2I. You guys could do 2I, sorry. The last one for
The
part
health and
A.
safety.
Yeah, the health and safety part. Because you guys did have the information for it. So just go research it, yeah. Do the best you can on that end.
Okay.
For the Law Pro guys, I'm just wondering, because you guys do have construction procurement, do you guys have any unit pricing for the cranes, anything like that? Any information? Especially like it's that we provided in Dropbox. Especially like it's that we provided in Dropbox.
No, I'm not sure. I haven't come across any such thing.
There's no way to find information for it.
Pardon?
Is there any way to find that information for the UK unit prices for cranes and other equipment?
From what I know, I think you log on to the website and that's where you get to know, like, for whichever particular crane you want to use.
Okay.
I think you can get the information from there. I haven't come across any such book though.
Okay.
There's no standard prices. No.
All right. I think we cover our bases. So part B, we're just going to finalize everything with the report and the Gantt chart. Horizon N will finish part A, 1I and 2I. Those first two, we'll try to finish it. Coventry, you guys will be in charge with the part C sections, making it in AutoCAD, and then
Health and safety report.
and the health and safety report. Those are 2 things. So part A, the last part, 3I, that's what you're in charge, and the sections. After that, we are just going to put the document together into a more presentable manner. That's basically it.
Part A 3.2, the pre-construction information document. Do you know about that? That's all.
Which one? Sorry?
Part A 3, and then the second bullet point.
What I'm thinking of is that you're talking about bonds and supplementary forms, permits, something like that. For the UK, I'm not sure what kind. Maybe it's a similar bonds that you're talking about. We'll give you general information, but
Not sure.
we're not entirely sure of what the standard is there and its procurement method. How about you guys, Law Pro? You guys know anything about that? Ankita? Hello? Do you guys know anything about the pre-construction documents or anything like that? What needs to be prepared?
Sorry. Yeah. Regarding the UK, I don't know. Regarding the UK, yeah, I have no clue about the UK. So.
Okay.
I guess as
I'll
required.
inquire. I'll inquire. Yeah, I'll inquire with Steve, Quincy. See what they're expecting.
All right, guys. So is there any more comments, questions, or anything like that? Or is everyone good on their end? Okay,
Fine.
so thank you guys for coming here today. So please finish everything. For Coventry, your drawing section should be done on Sunday. Our Gantt chart should be done. Our pricing kind of relatively be done, but I don't know. We'll see from there. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.